last Tuesday of the month of January. My name is Wahiga Mwaura. Now, on this 30th day of the month, the National Super Alliance has maintained that it will continue with its plans to swear in leaders Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka as People's President and Deputy at Uhuru Park, Nairobi later today. This even as Nairobi County Police Boss Japheth Koome warned the opposition to keep off that venue, and the county government had threatened to seal the park for renovation. Now, stay with us on Citizen TV as we bring you any unfolding developments from the political arena this morning and look at what the law says concerning the swearing in of a president and a deputy president. Now, we'll bring you live images now from Uhuru Park, where we know that NASA supporters have been trooping or making their way there from very early in the morning. Police, it appears, have rescinded their earlier directive on the venue. We have not received any official communication from the police, but our team there nevertheless indicate that there are very few police officers on ground, if any, and we can see also on the screen that NASA legislators have made their way there. That's John Mbadi, if you can just see him in the middle. Moses Kajwang is there as well, and Gladys Wanga was there earlier as well. Of course, we can't see her right now, but nevertheless, NASA supporters, part of their leadership, have already arrived at Uhuru Park, even as they await the function that was set for today. What we know in terms of the program, at least from what some reports of some sections of the media reporting, is that the public was supposed to be seated at 8:30 a.m. and thereafter opposition leaders and other invited guests were supposed to arrive at 9 a.m. From there at 10 o'clock, NASA principals led by Raila Odinga were meant to make their grand entry into Uhuru Park. It is 10 minutes after 10. That has not yet happened. It seems the function is running late for all intents and purposes, because at 11 a speech was supposed to be given by one of the members coordinating the People's Assemblies, of course, that committee led by NASA strategist David Ndii. And at 12 o'clock, NASA leader Raila Odinga was supposed to take that oath. Of course, we're not quite sure which oath it is, and that's one of the discussions we'll be having with my guests here in studio as the People's President, and then give his speech. Let's immediately take you to Uhuru Park now. That's before I introduce my guest in studio, where Stephen Leto is on standby. Leto, you have been at Uhuru Park for the last possibly 3 hours or so. We can see that the crowds are, the number there is definitely increasing. Kindly, Leto, tell us what is going on.
Very good morning to you there, Wahiga. Indeed, those pictures you are seeing from Uhuru Park, where the National Super Alliance is, setting up an event that had been at one point, termed as illegal, to an extent that police even, cordoned off this particular zone and saying that they will not be allowing any illegal gathering taking place in Uhuru Park. But at the moment, Wahiga, as you can see, the ground or the Uhuru Park grounds is half full at the moment, because already we are having a crowd already seated on this other side of the grounds. And behind me is, some of the NASA supporters who had, arrived here early, and so they are just ushering in bits, more supporters who are continuing to trickle into Uhuru Park grounds. Already, Wahiga, we have seen members of the National Assembly. We have seen the minority leader in the National Assembly, John Mbadi, already making his way into Uhuru Park grounds, probably to inspect the grounds. And so quickly, Wahiga, if I can just, go and, speak to John Mbadi, the Member of Parliament for Suba South, and also the leader of the minority party in the National Assembly. That is John Mbadi. He is the minority leader, and those are live pictures we are bringing to you. And so quickly, we want to get what does the event looks like today from where you sit as the leader of minority of the National Super Alliance.
I think basically I've come here to check on the preparation of the ground, and I want to tell Kenyans that this is a well-organized day. The people are arriving in numbers and thousands, and I think by midday, when we intend to start the official programs, we will have this place full of humanity. And that is the time that our leaders will come, and we expect that by 1, our president will take oath of office.
We're seeing that still there is a delay in terms of programming. We have not seen the stage being set up. What is going on? Are we using this ground as just one of the examples of where you are going to conduct the swearing in?
That is exactly why I'm here. I came to check on the preparations regarding the seating arrangement and also the public address system. As we speak, preparation is ongoing, and in the next 30 minutes, we'll have the place well organized for the function.
That is John Badi, the minority leader in the National Assembly, who is, addressing the supporters right here inside Uhuru Park grounds. And so, Wahiga, I'll let it back to you. And later on, of course, we'll join you with more details as they continue to unfold from right inside Uhuru Park grounds. For now, Wahiga, it's back to you in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Stephen Leto. And of course, that update is that the function at Uhuru Park seems to have been a bit delayed. We expect that by now, NASA principals would have made their way there. But what we're being told by Minority Leader John Badi is that in the next 30 minutes or so, expect a more elaborate setup to unfold before your eyes. At 12 o'clock, they expect the grounds to be full. And by 1 o'clock, they expect their leader, NASA leader Raila Odinga, to begin the function for which they have gathered there for today. Well, from Uhuru Park, we take you now to the current residence of NASA leader Raila Odinga, where Wilkista Nyabwa has been stationed at for the last 4 hours or so. The last time we spoke to her, she had not been able to gain access to the residence. I don't know if that has changed for now. Let's get that update now from Wilkista. Good morning, Wilkista. Any activity, any movement, any change from what you'd normally see at NASA leader Raila Odinga's residence this morning?
Good morning, Wahiga Mwaura. So where we are, I can tell you not much has changed since morning. We arrived here bright and early and we didn't see much activity. The road I'm standing on is actually the road that leads to Raila Odinga's residence. But we have been, we cannot get past this barrier. It is a private residence and therefore the security here and the security guards are under strict instructions not to allow us in, also by other neighbors in this area. So this is where we have been waiting for news and we haven't seen much activity since we got here. We haven't seen police officers or security officers deployed here. We have just seen residents going in and coming out, going about their business, school vans and workers coming in and some leaving to go about their business for the day. So at this point we cannot say with certainty whether Raila Odinga is at his residence here. His aides have been very reluctant to give out that information, the information of his whereabouts. So we would say at this point we cannot confirm that he is home. What we do know for a fact is that his aides and those closest to him maintain that he will be sworn in today. The time also is not very clear, so it is a waiting game at this point, that it is just a waiting game for us at this point, trying to see what happens, what activity there is, if any, as the morning progresses, and whether, if he is at home, then we do expect a convoy to come from here going all the way to Uhuru Park and therefore setting events in motion. But at this point I will tell you it has been very quiet, very uneventful from this end of things. It doesn't seem, if one didn't know that he lived here, it would be very difficult to really tell. It's very quiet. Wahiga.
Well, Wakista, definitely the scenes behind you show a residence during the day. You know, people have gone to work, etc. But on the other side, what we're not seeing where your cameraman is there a heavy presence perhaps of media or just curious onlookers? What's happening now, behind the cameraman?
Well, behind the cameraman, the media is here. There are some media houses that are represented, both local and foreign. All of them are very interested in the events that occur here today. But really there isn't much passers-by. There aren't many passers-by who are here. Everybody seems to be going about their business like it is a normal day. You can see those coming in, boda riders, motorcycle riders, coming in and going out, and really outside, beyond this space, there aren't many people, just the press and nobody else. Why?
Well, thank you so much, Wilkista. Nevertheless, I see us coming back to you later on as soon as you have any updates from that location in Karen. And we want to stay in Karen, but now take it to Mercy Kandie, who is outside Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka's home. Mercy, good morning. Same question to you as I asked Wilkista. Has there been an increase in activity or a change in what is happening just outside Honorable Kalonzo's house? You've been camped there for the last 4 hours or so. What can you tell us, Mercy Kandie?
Yes, Wahiga, we've camped here since early morning and there's very little activity outside NASA Principal's home, Kalonzo Musyoka. What you can see right there is the gate. We've been told to stay slightly a few meters away, but so far very minimal activities, a few cars driving in and out. We have been told, if my cameraman could just show you that picture right there, we have been told that the NASA Principal will leave shortly, but not sure what exact time that will be happening. But Wahiga, what we can tell our audience is that there's no presence in terms of heavy police around his home or onlookers. Nothing much happening. It's just business as usual here. And what the people who are just here are probably members of the press to see when and if the NASA Principal Kalonzo Musyoka will leave his premise here in Karen. Wahiga.
Well, thank you so much, Mercy, for that update. And also, in terms of attention there, a focus by whether members of the press, onlookers, what has been happening there over the last couple of hours?
For the last couple of hours, Wahiga, I mean, very minimal activity. In fact, we even tried to get slightly closer to the gate, but the security guards manning the gate would tell us to be slightly further away from the gate. But Wahiga, again, you couldn't even tell just by the presence of press members being outside the gate that then you would tell that there's probably an activity that is set to happen here. But Wahiga, as we speak to you, just a few cars driving in. We're told that Kalonzo Musyoka is in his house with a few other members of the party, but that's what we know so far. We have been told, however, Wahiga, that he will be leaving shortly. So keep it Citizen TV even as we keep you updated in terms of when and if that happens. Live from Karen. Wahiga.
Well, thank you so much, Mercy. We definitely have to believe those who told you that he is within that residence. Again, he might be, he might not be. I mean, we just have to wait and see, honestly. Thank you, Mercy, for that update. We just want to show you once again what's happening at Uhuru Park before we take you to Kibra and then, come to my guests here in studio, all of whom have been following what's been going on. At Uhuru Park, what you can see is an increase in the crowds that we saw, an hour or so ago. Definitely, you can see that from the conservative numbers that were there at 7 o'clock when we began, or at 6 a.m. when we began our broadcast, at 7 a.m. as well. The word has definitely spread that the function is happening. You can imagine that for some of the supporters, they were not sure, will it happen, will it not happen, will we be allowed access or not? But the word is spreading, they are gathering. In terms of setup and protocol, however, that is the question that Stephen Letop had posed to Minority Leader John Buddy, and Honorable Buddy assured him that within the next 30 minutes or so, expect to see, possibly the setup of a PA system, chairs, and some sort of program that will now, come out there, because some of the areas would need to be demarcated for VIPs, etc. But for now, what you're seeing on your screen is that a crowd has gathered. The crowd not quite sure when or how the function will take place, but that is the situation for now. We want to take you to Kibra very quickly, where Dennis Otieno is on standby. We had seen images earlier on of people trooping out of Kibra, making their way to the city center. Dennis Otieno, can we still see that movement? Are people still making their way to the city center, or has the group that wanted to make their way there already, left?
Yes, Wahiga, people are still trooping out of this particular area, making their way on to Kibra. But what we've noticed so far, Wahiga, is that if my cameraman Dida can just zoom in, we've noticed that several people have actually closed their shops. And this maybe could be due to fear of any eventuality that might happen that might lead to chaos. So so many businesses are still closed, and for those who have opened, they've actually opened their businesses, but they're still on standby for anything that might occur. I'll just get a few sentiments, Waiga, from some of those people who are actually heading to Uhuru Park and who are actually transporting some of the people to that particular place to tell us about, the expectations for this particular day. Waitwa nani mzee?
Mimi naitwa Kennedy Ochieng.
Kennedy, tumeona kuwa ulikuwa unabeba baadhi ya wenzako ukiwapeleka, ulikuwa unapeleka wapi?
Nilikuwa nawapeleka Uhuru Park.
Okay. Yeah. Na hebu tuambie unatarajia nini hasa kwa siku ya leo?
Kwanza mimi niko na furaha sana juu kura yangu naona leo mali niliweka ndio imeingia. Mwenye nilimpigia kura leo anaenda kuapishwa rasmi. Inamaanisha kura yangu haijapotea. Kwanza nimeshukuru polisi kwa kutupea utulivu katika hii shughuli yetu ya leo.
So unatarajia nini labda by the end of the day hivi?
By the end of the day tunatarajia hiyo shughuli iwe imeisha kabisa na iwe kwa utulivu, ndio baba atupangie cabinet zake tuanze kupanga. Na hii maneno ya mwenye amepiga kura sio mwenye anashinda. Juu tunaweza imekuwa trend in Africa that unapiga kura lakini mwenye anatangazwa ni mtu mwingine. So mwenye anadetermine mshindi ni ule mwenye anahesabu, sio mwenye amepiga kura. So hiyo trend ikienda hivyo, hata people watakuwa na confidence kwa kura yao. Next time people watajitokeza wakijua mali ametumbukiza kura yake, hapo ndio atapata ushindi. Hata kama ameshindwa, but itakuwa very fair. Yeah.
All right, Wahiga, even as we were continuing with this particular interview, we are seeing many more people still passing by, making their way to Uhuru Park, and I will just get a few more sentiments here from the people here. Ebu tuambie kidogo maoni yako kuhusu siku ya leo. Kwa majina waitwa nani?
Mimi naitwa Daniel Onyango Mboya.
Daniel, ebu tuambie, una matarajio yoyote kwa siku ya leo? Una matarajio yoyote kwa siku ya leo? Hebu tuambie matarajio yako ni yapi?
Nikupisha baba.
All right, Wahiga is a bit optimistic, but using very few words, as you can see. And what we've noticed, Wahiga, is that for those who have actually opened their businesses, like I told you, there's still a bit of anxiety of some sort, because many of them say they do want to see this particular process going on, but because they're not sure about what might occur, they're just on standby to make sure that in case anything does happen, they will be able to safeguard their property. Waiga.
Indeed, Dennis, thank you once again for that update, letting us know what exactly is happening in Kibra. Let me briefly introduce my guests in studio who have all been following what's been happening closely for the last couple of hours. Let me introduce Herman Manyora, a political commentator. Welcome to the program. Next to him, Dr.